Good morning. Today is Saturday, September 11th, 2021. It's been 20 years this year since what's been come to known as September 11th, 9/11, the terrorist attacks on our nation. Um, it's honestly hard to believe that it's been 20 years since that day. Um, I'd remembered I'd actually on this channel made a video, 10 years ago celebrating the 10th anniversary, and it's a wild 10 years to that, and it's been a wild 10 years since for this country. Last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been trying to remember as much as I could, exactly about that day. I was still in school at that time. I had to get up and go to school. I did not watch the video from 10 years ago, which probably would have been a good starting point to jar some more memory. But what I remember is I'd lived in they weren't like apartments, they were like townhouses across the street from the school I went to. And I can't remember what time, we started in the morning. In my head, I feel like it was after, everything had happened. But definitely went to school knowing something was going on. I was actually on Twitter the other day and was talking to Trisha Mackey, who works for Fox 19. She's been there that long and wasn't there that day. She was actually on the radio, which, I'm not sitting around at the age I was, listening to TV and radio. I had to go to school. But, I told her that I'd remembered watching, Rob and Sheila on Fox 19. And one of the reasons I'd like to see that video is there's something I remember that I feel like they said that wasn't talked about, since then or in the news. I went to school, not even, I don't think, knowing about the attacks, in New York. Like I said, I can't remember what time we started, but I remember, getting there and, there was a buzz, people, knew something was going on, that we were under attack. Kids kept saying, World Trade Center. And to me, at that age, maybe I just hadn't, seen enough movies or something, wasn't remembering. I remember, Nickelodeon in the 90s, back when they had Stickly doing, something with the Twin Towers. That's what I always thought of, with those buildings, was Twin Towers up to that point. But, it's the World Trade Center. And I remember, for the students, that were in my class, if you ever see this, we were rotating that year to get ready for the middle school next door. Technically, the grade we were in for, I guess what I've heard since then, is considered middle school. But, teachers weren't really telling, and, why are you telling, elementary, kids anyway, you don't want to worry us. Parents were picking some kids up from school. I had to stay the whole day. But anyway, I do remember Jeff had to go next door to the teacher's class for something, and he was, real quick back and forth, and I know they had a TV on, and he came back and was like, I just, seen a fireball, and you're trying to, put all that together in your head. And, of course we were all, worried. I really wish I could remember, what exactly we did at school that day, but I do remember, if you left, I walked, and kids that lived across the street in that complex, we didn't, walk gingerly home that day. We ran, because I wanted to, get to a TV, see what was going on. First place I went, I didn't actually have a key to get in my place of residence, so I went to, up to the office of the place. My mom worked there, and they had a TV on, and the first thing I remember seeing, I don't know which one, but it was, an angle of one of the towers collapsing. And, it's just one of those holy shit, moments. But, it wasn't live. They had to explain to me that happened this morning. And, it's just crazy, the aftermath of that, how long it took to clean up. I can remember, watching the news for months, far into the next year, even days after it'd been cold, snow, rain, the fires burned for so long, they were, bringing out pieces of people for so long, just twisted metal. Um, Speaking of pieces of metal, where I'm actually sitting right now, the reason I'm right here where I am, I'm looking across, there's actually a piece of the World Trade Center that was, I don't know if it was purchased or just dedicated to this area. I didn't hear anything about when it was brought here, but I know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was coming through this area in a car with somebody and seeing, around, because it's on a corner of an intersection, like, hey, what's that over there? And, it's like, oh, they put a piece of the World Trade Center there. It's like, oh, neat. I'd like to go check that out sometime. So I've been here before. This is probably the second or third time. I came on 9/11 a few years ago. Took some pictures, laid some flowers. Wanted to do that again today. I'm here by myself. It's getting ready to get light. It's currently 6:48 in the morning. So even 20 years ago, nothing started yet. But it's been through so much since then, and at that age you're trying to get through school, it's wars and politics, not going to say key words of what we've been dealing with for the last year and a half now. Things haven't necessarily gotten easier for a lot of people, but I just wanted to take some time to reflect, come here today. Let's walk over and check this out real quick. There's a few places around Cincinnati, I don't know all of them, that have this or have anything like it. I do know somewhere in Green Township they have a 12-foot piece of the Trade Center, but they've actually got little plaque memorials for each branch of the military. They have one for the pledge, and then the local police, fire, and EMS, and then right here it is. May this beam from the World Trade Center help us always remember those that gave their lives in service to others on September 11th, 2001. 343 firefighters and 60 law enforcement officers. It's just a crazy thing. I'm probably gonna go grab some breakfast and go. I don't know, there's plenty of stuff on TV, about today. You can't ignore it. I hope everybody has a great day, though.